What's up, everybody? Welcome back to, that was a really weird introduction. Sorry about that, guys, but yo, what's up? Welcome back. We're continuing the 9 lessons that I learned from the creator weekend that I was fortunate enough to spend a couple weeks ago with 15 of the most incredible creators I've literally ever been around. For the backstory on that, I would go just listen to one of the earlier episodes. There's, I think, 7 other episodes previously in this series. You can start anywhere, but I think that there's a lot of meat in each one of these as we unpack the lessons learned from being around these incredible people. So go check those out. But today's lesson is a very simple one. It's that health is the ultimate flex. I think a lot of people put too much emphasis on outward symbols of success, like fast cars, fancy clothes, shiny watches, things like that. And you see this all the time on Instagram, on YouTube. People put Lamborghinis, they put the yacht, they put all these things into their content to make it appear that they're successful. And what's really interesting is one of the most successful Instagram videos that I ever put out. If you guys want to go check it out, go find the Anthony Vicino on Instagram. One of the most popular videos we ever released was in response to a troll. See, a guy came into the comments once and he said, yeah, because I like to take my financial advice from a guy wearing a Walmart t-shirt and wearing crappy headphones. And so I did a response to that because I think a lot of people think success looks a particular way, which is one of the previous lessons that I took away from this event yet again, is that success doesn't really look how most people think it does. You know, it's a lot of times it's very understated. It's people not trying to play the status game, but instead playing the wealth game and recognizing that a lot of people want to win the wealth game, but they go about it thinking that they have to do it through the status game. And these are mutually exclusive things. And so it's not about driving the nice car, the fancy clothes. It's none of that stuff. Now, with all that said, the ultimate flex to show like that you have your life together, not just that you're wealthy. That's not what I'm talking about here, but just like this idea of being a whole life billionaire where you have your 4 spheres of influence on lock, which is your mindset, your health, your wealth, and your skills. Like the truest flex in all of that is a healthy body, a fit, healthy body. And I think the reason for that is because there's no faking it. You either put the time in and you did the work or you didn't. As my buddy Sean Puri said, he said, your body is like a bank account where everyone can see the balance. And one of the things that was just so clear to me in hanging out with these 15 creators is that every single one of them had made meaningful deposits in the account that mattered most, their health. And this isn't from a position of vanity and like wanting to look good for the world or anything like that. I think it's because of what Seneca said. They recognized intuitively that when Seneca said the healthy man wants 1,000 things, but the sick man wants just one, they recognize that the wealth, the accolades, everything else that comes with the trappings of success means nothing if you don't have your health. Truly nothing else matters. And so prioritizing that and putting in the work, I think, is one of the most valuable things that any of us can do, not only because you're going to live a higher quality life and longer and everything like, but it's also, I find, almost a way of being a maverick in the current world. Stick with me. So most people, like the average American, is overweight, significantly overweight. And when you hang out with a group of people who are all overweight, you take it for granted that that's like the norm. That's like the normal human experience. And then when you get around really, really fit people who like take their health very, very seriously, it almost looks like a strange obsession. They almost seem like a different kind of, like, unhealthy with their obsession with fitness. And so if that's the world that a lot of us come from, is like, oh, being fit and like really caring about that stuff is abnormal and actually being overweight is normal, then by actually turning that paradigm on its head and saying, no, being fit is like the truest form of wealth, then you're in a lot of ways you're living contrary to the common cultural norms. And so one of the things I've personally found is, and depending on where you are on your health journey, like I've had ups and downs. I've been very, very fortunate that throughout my life I've been an athlete, and so that's helped me take care of my health in a lot of ways. But definitely 2 years ago, with COVID, coming out of that, with life in general, with stress and businesses, I had put on a lot of weight. Like I was pushing 200 pounds for context. I'm usually like 165 to 175. That's like where I'm fit and trim. So I was getting fluffy. I was what my friend Robin referred to as fluffy Anthony. And I did not like that. But, you know, sometimes that's what happens. Life happens. You start to get around people where that's the norm. And so your standard for your health, for your expectations starts to go down. And this is something I'm going to talk about in another episode, which is that you need to be really careful about who you surround yourself with, what rooms you go into, because in every room, there's a reversion to the mean. You know, you have the very smart people, you have the very stupid people, you have the very fit people, you have the unhealthy people, whatever. Like, people always are on a spectrum. And what tends to happen when you get a group of people together is we all collapse towards the average, right? So the smarter people, they dumb it down a little bit. The dumb people, they try to bring it up a bit, right? This is a weird analogy. We'll unpack this in a future episode, but a little bit better. But the idea is if you're surrounding yourself with unhealthy people and where fitness is not the priority, then you are going to be just a natural extension of that as well. But if you can surround yourself with healthy people, like go to the gym, get into group fitness classes, like surround yourself with people who are going and doing like weekend races or weekend activities, get around that, and they're going to raise you up to that level. That's like one of the easiest ways to actually win that health game. But I just found it really, really interesting to be around these guys and gals who they had clearly prioritized their health. They had been making deposits into that bank account. Everybody could see it. And the thing is, like, there is no hiding it. On social media, you can pose and pretend like you're wealthy. You can go rent the Lamborghini. You can tell everybody this and that and the other thing. But there's really not a great way to prove it, right? There's nobody there looking at your bank account and really verifying anything like that. But health is one of those things that there's no flub in it. Like, you could be on steroids, but even then, like, you got to still get in the gym. You still got to do the work. And so when you see somebody who's fit, who's taken and prioritized their health, you know, at a minimum, they have a certain level of discipline or consistency or something that has allowed them to get into the gym and continue doing that thing. And so there's like this implicit marker of success when you see healthy people, as opposed to if you're not healthy, then we know what your choices have been. We know what kind of life you've been living up to that point, the decisions that you make when it comes to, do I go to the gym? Do I eat healthy? All these things. Like, it's a bank account, like Sean says, that everybody can see. There's no hiding that. And so as you start to move through this life towards your highest and greatest self, I think the first battle that we should all focus on winning is that battle for our body. Win that thing and everything gets easier. So that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope this brings you a little bit of value. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to see you, hopefully, if you come back around these parts tomorrow for another episode. But until then, stay hyper-focused, my friend.